Am I live? I am live. Okay. Hi guys. This is Dr. Mira from Rosemira Organics. I'm not sure why it looks kind of dark, so I hope it's okay. And that you're not having any shadow. We're outside. It's a really hot day. All of a sudden, it just turned so hot. I think it's 90 degrees. Luckily, my back deck is nice and cool, relatively cool. And yeah, hello. So I'm Dr. Mira from Rosemira Organics, and I'm here to talk about our line again in our weekly Facebook Live. I think this was our first month in our attempt to do a weekly program. I think we're going to try possibly twice a month next time. And if you guys want to tell us what works best for you, we'd love to hear your thoughts. So, I told you that every time Jody will put some different makeup on me, makeup that I make, and so today she has on me, this is not the color I usually use, it's called Tint Me Deeply. Not my color. My color is more the red or the red combination with either the deeply red, the hot red, and the coral. It seems to be what I like. But deeply is lovely, so just I wanted you to see the color. And then on eyes we have sapphire. Now you won't see the sapphire on our website. You won't see any of our eye colors. We've got greens, we've got topaz, and we've got sapphire, and we've got purple rain, and all kinds. But if you ask for them, we will provide them, and eventually we will sell them. We just don't have images for them, and so we don't have them on the website until we have a new photo shoot, basically. But we make them, and we'd be happy to make them available to you. And on the Facebook, we have one image, one post that we did that has most of the lines, including 2 highlighters, which are pearl and gold. And so if you want any of them, just let us know, and we will make them available. Okay, so today I kind of wanted to talk about how I formulate, or what inspires me to formulate. I formulate my own products from scratch, and usually it's inspired by a need. Someone comes to me and has a need, and looking for something in the market that I don't believe is available in the right quality, or nothing has worked for them. So it could be rosacea, it could be eczema, it's a tough one, I'm working on it. It could be psoriasis, it could be acne, scarring, whatever it might be. Some people just have really sensitive skin and nothing works for them. And so I will formulate based on need, and I will formulate based on ingredient. So I might be stimulated by an ingredient. Like a couple years ago, I discovered dragon's blood as a product you take internally, and because it's so potent, so powerful, I decided to try and make it into a skincare product. And I came up, actually I don't have it here, but I came up with a product called Dragon's Blood Antioxidant Serum, and it has dragon's blood droplets. It's a sap, so it's heavier than it's hi Anne. So it's heavier than the oils that it's suspended in, and it's also a liquid rather than an oil. So it stays suspended in the formula, and you have to shake it, and you'll see black droplets in there. Now I found how it works more by accident. One of the functions I found was we were on vacation in Mexico, and I haven't been on vacation in way too long, and I was in the sun for a really short, brief moment in time and really burnt myself badly. And then the abuse continued, where we were once on a boat, and I didn't have anything to cover myself. It was all underneath, where I couldn't just disturb someone to get my cover, and I kept getting burnt over the burn, and it was really like a really bad burn by the time I got home. I was smearing yogurt on myself and anything to calm it and cool it down. But when I got home, I took my Alluring Jasmine body butter and I mixed it with some of the dragon's blood and I just smeared it on. And I was sure I would be scarred for life. They were like not very pretty red spots on my legs and on my arms. And that combination completely took care of it. So sometimes that's how I discover a function of a product. But that's just one thing it does. It heals sun damage, it heals burns. It's very healing for the skin in general, and it's a really great antioxidant, wonderful for mature skin to moisturize it as well as protect it. So that was Dragon's Blood. How I came about to make the seaweed serum is again very similar. Ran into the astaxanthin red algae. It's an extremely potent antioxidant. According to research, they say it's 500 times more potent than vitamin E and vitamin C combined. Now that's an enormous number. I don't have the way to measure that, but that's what the research says. So I started formulating with it. Now when you formulate with something, you don't always know how it's going to come out. So my seaweed serum, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it, this is the bottle we make it in. Don't know if you can see it in this light. But if you can, at the bottom, no, I don't think you'll be able to see it. Anyway, the bottom, it has the whole seaweed coagulates at the bottom as see, it doesn't even come down. It's since seaweed is so gelatinous, it coagulates either at the bottom or on the side. So if the bottle will be laying on its side, it will coagulate on the side. But it coagulates at the bottom, and if you shake it really, really, really hard, the seaweed will come into solution. So initially I was telling people to just shake really hard. That wasn't good enough. We added a little metal ball in there, and that helped shake it to disperse the seaweed in solution. But what we found out that some people don't like the seaweed in there. It's not your usual serum. Most serums do not have seaweed granules in them. Most of them are a smooth liquid. So now what we decided to tell people to do is depending on how granular you like it. You can use it as somewhat of an exfoliant. You can apply it on and have the seaweed granules kind of exfoliate your skin, and also I kind of leave them on the skin and let them stay there for a while before I apply my moisturizer. Or you can just not even shake the bottle at all, and there's going to be no seaweed granules, or very, very few in solution if you don't shake it at all. That's a choice. And we also let people know that they're welcome to email us, or in the notes when they order the seaweed serum, let us know if you want us to decant it first. And so we will decant it before we ship it. The reason we right now leave the seaweed in solution is because we don't mind it, and because I believe that the nutrients keep getting emitted, or they keep coming into solution as long as they're sitting in the serum. Especially since we make it relatively fresh right before shipping, we wanted to have enough time to sit in the liquid, in the oil, as the nutrients get dispersed, I guess, in the oil. So that's the story with the seaweed. Otherwise, the shake really well. I usually tell you that's great. You don't have to go to the gym after that. That's not true. Okay, so that's that. And also generally about the products that always need shaking. So this, for example, is our Immortal Toner. And what you see is essential oils on top. Again, it's kind of dark, and I'm not sure what I can do for that. But you have to shake it. And when you shake it, you see it's darker. But then if you let it sit, the globules of blue tansy and blue chamomile and immortelle will start coming up on top. And so just shake it before you use it, and then let it go. So that's that. I really am concerned about how dark this is, so I hope this works. Okay, so last thing, I just want to answer a question that I keep getting all the time, and that question is about refrigeration. Since we don't use preservative most of the time, we occasionally use uh, aspen bark as a natural preservative. We will use grapefruit seed extract, or we will use honey. Those are mild preservatives, natural preservatives. We don't really have strong synthetic preservatives in here, which is one of the reasons we make our products fresh per order. Um, so I recommend refrigerating some of our products. Now that brings confusion because some products should not be refrigerated and some don't need it. So let me just run by a few. And now I'm running out of time already. So cleansers. Cleansers are the most sensitive ones. Um, the Moroccan Red Rose, I think I talked about it last time, does not need to be refrigerated. It's better if it is, just because of oxidation of the clays in there, and it just maintains it longer. The pineapples and cream does need to be refrigerated, especially in this hot weather. I recommend refrigerating it and using it either directly from the refrigerator or separating it, pouring a little bit into another bottle that you keep in your bathroom, and then keeping the rest in the refrigerator. Some people happen to have a refrigerator close by, so they can use it that way, but most of us have a refrigerator downstairs or in the kitchen, and we don't want to keep running back and forth. So use a small bottle in the refrigerator, leave them most of it in the refrigerator, and use a small bottle in the bathroom. Um, the last cleanser that needs to be refrigerated is aloe and pink grapefruit. Again, doesn't need to, it's better. Toners, better refrigerated. They're made of hydrosols. Hydrosols have a shelf life. Yes, it is a year or 2 years, but once you add essential oils, that cuts it down a little bit, and it also feels so much better when they cool on your skin. One more time, they don't have to, but they will benefit from it. The one product that I don't recommend refrigerated most of the time is my moisturizing creams, and that's actually the reason I'm bringing this up, is because people have been refrigerating my eye creams as well as some of our moisturizing creams, and that causes separation. There's no emulsifiers, there's no additives, there's no fillers, and so there's nothing to hold the delicate balance between oil and the water elements in solution. They will separate at the drop of a hat. So they usually don't separate unless they're under extreme temperature fluctuation. A lot of heat will cause separation, as well as moisture. So putting it in the refrigerator, well, it sounds like a good idea, will elevate the amount of moisture available, and it will the balance between oil and water will be disturbed, and most likely they will separate, at which point it's hard to reconstitute them. If that happens to you, you can pour a little bit of the liquid that's separated out and then try to mix it. But there's no way of you to really pouring out the exact amount of water versus oil element. They kind of mix at that point. So it's tough to bring it into the exact texture it was before, but you might be able to do it. Some people tell me that doing it successfully. So pour a little bit and then mix it gently with a spatula, and that should or can reconstitute the cream. But better just don't refrigerate it. We send it to you, we make it the same day or the day before. That will last you as long as you use it, as long as you use it regularly, so you don't need to refrigerate them. Eye creams, similarly. The only creams that I recommend refrigerating are the rich moisturizing cleanser and night cream, the unscented, and the tangerine frosting. Provide for your face rosacea cream can be refrigerated, and lavender dreams can be refrigerated. But the ones that have to be refrigerated, or should be, unless you're planning to use it within 2 months, are the rich moisturizing cleanser night cream and the tangerine frosting. They have almond and apricot oils in them. Those are very, very fragile oils. They don't have a long shelf life. I considered replacing the oils just to make it simpler and easier, but they're lovely oils for the skin, lovely for sensitive skin. I don't want to replace them really. So the issue is just they need to be refrigerated. When you do refrigerate them, keep in mind that if you take them out of the refrigerator, they need to come to room temperature before you can use them, because the minute you start mixing them, putting your finger in there, they will separate. So again, with this cream, I recommend keeping an ounce or half an ounce jar when you receive the cream, separating it, putting in half an ounce jar in your bathroom, and keeping the rest in the refrigerator. And when you want to use it again, you probably won't even have to put it into another jar. Just use what you had in the refrigerator, and again, wait for room temperature. So these products require a little bit of tender loving care, a little bit of special handling. I think it's because they're precious and they're special. And yes, it's a lot simpler sometimes to buy a product that's preserved, but that product might have been sitting on the shelf for 3 years, and it will look as fresh as it was made yesterday, but it's not. It's preserved, it's devoid of any vitality, and any fresh nutrition is no longer available if it's been sitting there for 3 years. I mean, just think of it. You don't want any milk, milk to sit fresh. You don't want lettuce to sit unrefrigerated. You don't want wheat to be ground, flour to be ground months and years before you use it. Even coffee, they recommend grinding it right before you get it shipped to you or before you use it. So actually not grinding, but roasting it. Some companies now roast the coffee on the date you request to ship it, because that really makes a difference in the quality of the coffee bean. So that's it for today. I went over. I did not intend to. I'll try to keep it shorter next time. If you have any questions, please email them to us, and we will see you in 2 weeks this time around. If we feel that we need to see you before that, or if you have something to say, or you guys are asking for it, then we will make notes, put a post in Facebook letting you know that we're going to do another one next week. But otherwise, it's going to be in 2 weeks. So until then, don't forget to send the questions to us, and thank you for listening. Bye.